Going to be living with Lopez for a really long time, but Fiend doesn't have time to bask in the glory of that victory as he's got to go on to fight Hattori the Demon Bride while locking in this Finn the Human. We're going to get right on into game number 1 of the grand finals in just a little bit. Small Enigma left on the board, and Wesley's like, I was watching your previous set. I know you like that map. I'm going to go over to Small Brawlhaven for game number 1.
Now, what level is Wesley's Hattori? Because I was talking to Frone about this before, and we were looking at previous character picks from Wesley. Now, it's not out of left field. It's at least level 25, but there's been a lot of Lance coming out from Wesley, and I'm talking like almost all of the Lance characters. There's been an Olgrim from him, there's been a Vrax from him, there's been a Scarlet from him, there's been a Roland from him, and that's just in like the last tournament that we saw Wesley in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, even if we go back to the pre-show, I was like, Wesley's a Lance boy. Like, that is what he was known for. It is a bit surprising to see him coming in with the Hattori. Of course, we'll still have that spear from the Orion that he plays. Maybe just was tired of chat being all on top of him for being a Lance player.
We might see him maybe pick up that Lance if he's not able to start turning this game around, as Fiend is controlling this with his axe. Here on Small Brawlhaven, it's not going to take much to knock out. He's done a great job fighting back. They're both in red at this point. In comes the sword for Fiend. D-Light recovery. Nice spot dodge there for Fiend. Even if being that high in the air didn't avoid the damage, he was there with the dodge for the iframes. Going to open that first hit up with the downer and the neutral air into the recovery.
Getting some good damage built up onto Wesley's second stock. Moving around that ground pound, that falling pancake, just not enough to connect on the Fiend. And Fiend just getting that extra credit, but the neutral sig from Wesley will halt the momentum. Wesley going in. Stuck on the corner. Fiend with a ground pound, not able to connect with the weapon toss. A little too high for the opportunity for that gravity cancel downlight. That's why he went for that spot dodge there. Wesley gonna force Fiend to disengage.
And even with all the movement speed that Wesley has with this Hattori pick, doesn't quite have enough to move all the way over and contest that edge guard as Fiend goes under the end. Or at least he didn't want to do it, as you see him just kind of standing on the main platform. Weapon toss comes through, that got the dodge, but Wesley didn't move forward, so Fiend side-aired and hit.
D-Light recovery. Fiend able to get the stock and back to the sword for the damage build on the final stock of Wesley here in game number 1.
Zoning him out with multiple axe hits. Fiend with a big lead here. And on a lower defense character coming out from Wesley. Didn't quite catch what stance he was on. Oh, that's going to be a KO for sure.
Big victory for Fiend. Wesley was on that defense stance going from 4 to 5. And now Wesley's thinking maybe about that Lance option that we were talking about just a moment ago.
He's thinking about this character pick, this level 32 Finn coming out from Fiend. Going to put 1 into the defense stance, go from 3 to 4, take 1 away from his dex. He's not going to feel that whatsoever, and that extra little bit of defense will be helpful. Going in with the Taros from Wesley, level 33. We've seen him play Axe. Haven't seen him play too much Hammer in the past. He does have a level 33 here, and he's going full strength on the Taros. 9 strength, taking 1 out of defense.
Yeah, that is very nice to have. Going up against a low defense character can turn Finn into paper with that 9 strength. Fiend's got to be really careful here. It's all about control in this instance. If he gets caught, all trades 100% in Wesley's favor. We're going to get right on into game number 2. Wesley coming in with the Taros.
Ooh, Wesley was kind of positioned to grab that weapon spawn first off. You saw him immediately go for it, expecting Fiend to be like right on top of it, but Fiend was just below it, using the long range to pick up a weapon to his advantage.
Yeah, just kind of yoinked that weapon out of the sky right on spawn. Now both of them, line drawn in the sand, waiting for the other one to cross that line. Wesley moves forward, but Fiend gets the 3 hit.
Ooh, Fiend expecting that neutral signature to come out. Completely stays away from it, goes with the weapon toss. Spawn comes in, grabs the sword, went to go for the nair. Wesley ended up finding priority over it. Wesley hasn't found too many hits. There's the daylight recovery. That turns Wesley red. Oh, Fiend falling out of the way of the down air. That could have actually been pretty rough, depending on how high he picked that up.
Ooh, big side air from Fiend, though, will lead to the knockout. He's back to the sword. Likely will be denying this weapon pickup. Yep, but sticking with the sword for the potential. Had to avoid that recovery. Wesley almost immediately got the response.
Triple nairs coming out from Fiend. Gonna put some good damage. Already has Wesley in the yellow as the axe comes out. Might fish for the side air, might go for the recovery.
Going for the nair underneath. Wesley struggling to get this stock. What was that weapon toss? It didn't work for Wesley, and now he is disarmed. Now he's down to his final stock in game number 2. Fiend is 1 stock away from getting that quick reset for another best of 5. Sorry, 1 stock from 1 game, I guess. Better way of phrasing that. Either way, Wesley now down to his final stock here. Gets the nair, will deny the 3 stock.
Fiend's gonna spawn in fresh on this one. The on-stage neutral signature on a potentially white opponent immediately gets punished, and more damage is coming out from Fiend. Neutral light, second swipe, knocking Wesley into the orange. Sidelight neutral signature for the KO in orange, and Fiend is gonna take that game, now going up 2-0. Wesley put out 206 damage, and that's it.
Yeah, Taros definitely was not the answer there for Wesley. That was a convincing finish for Fiend, and now Fiend is 1 game away from that reset. Wesley yet to pick a Lance character, though. Very interesting picks from Wesley. Maybe knows that he has a set to play with, so he's trying to see if anything will work against Fiend.
Still thinking about this one, thinking really hard. Of course, Fiend already locked in on the Finn, ready to fight. Just play Lance, Wesley. Just do it. You know
Just
you
play
want
Vrax,
to.
Sparky. Just do the Vrax.
You know you should play Lance.
You have a game to gimme. It's fine. Just do it for the style points. Then we can go to the next set, and then you play what you want to play.
Do it for the people. The people want to see the Vrax. Press 1 in chat if you want to see the Vrax. For the record, chat is full of 1s right now. 30,492 people watching. It's 30,000 1s. I'm seeing, actually, hold on. Chat actually is full of 1s. It's happening. I was lying before, but
I don't have chat open, but I was really about to be like, yo, that's some like sus Among Us level stuff right there. But no, actually, I kind of believe chat. Chat wants to see the Vrax. I know Vrax is always a fun legend to watch. Right now, Wesley just maybe icing Fiend a little bit. He's really taking his time on this one, but it's going to be the Koji. Just kidding. It's a bait.
Looks like he's not going to listen to Twitch chat. Not a terrible idea to completely ignore what Twitch chat says. Even though it is, like, it really is full of 1s. There's even Vrax emotes coming out. It's full of it.
When has chat ever been right? Like, come on. Either way, it's going to be the Koji. You know what? It makes a little bit of sense. What was the legend that was played to knock Fiend into the loser's bracket? Koji. Might as well play a little bit of Koji for game number 3 in the grand final. 1 game left before Fiend can get that reset and turn it to a final best of 5 here for the 1v1s in Autumn Championship. Fiend starts it off with the down light. Just a little bit of a kick, but he's able to pick up the sword.
See if this Koji sword from him is going to be able to take out Fiend's wonderful sword that we've seen so far. Ooh, the side sig almost making a connection there. Now Wesley is also going into the defense stance, so he's going to have 5, Fiend is going to have 4. So just a little bit of difference between those two.
Wesley going for the big plays, trying to go for that ground pound. Was not able to land it though onto Fiend. Fiend actually getting into a little bit of a wall slip. You saw the exclamation points come out. He's really taking his time on that left side.
Nice pickup there. Wesley with a good lead. The neutral signature, maybe a little bit too hard of a read. I don't think there was really any case where Fiend would be like above him at that time, and by above, I mean straight above.
I think it was a reaction, like he saw Fiend's dodge come out, and he just reacted wrong. Maybe thought it was going to be a dodge across, and went for that neutral signature. But either way, Fiend able to get the first stock with the downlight recovery. Wesley, no weapon spawn, immediately goes for the side heavy, wants to even these stocks up immediately, but just can't find the hit.
Ooh, Wesley being careful how he chooses to initiate on a Fiend. He knows he's behind here. Dodges the weapon toss, makes for raw recovery. And that's going to be the one he expected after the weapon toss came out for Fiend to quickly move towards him. Because Fiend has been doing that a lot, where he throws the weapon and immediately attacks after Wesley gets hit.
Yo, but Wesley is getting these extensions on this bow play. He is getting 3 and then more in that extra 4th one with the recovery off the neutral light.
And Wesley's attacking a lot. He isn't getting punished too badly either. That's the high dex of Koji, making that legend very tough to punish.
Tatami Matt with the movement from Wesley, dashed forward and then dashed back immediately, baiting Fiend for the movement and got the Tatami Matt. Now Wesley's looking pretty all right here in game number 3, only in the orange, but he eats the ground pound and suddenly he is out of there.
Good work from Fiend to kind of wait to see where Wesley was going to go after that. After he hit the ground pound, rather than just immediately picking a direction blind to throw the weapon toss in, he waited to see where Wesley was going to go. If he was going to go to the right, go straight up, maybe dip a little bit deeper into the push-off column. Fiend down below, a lot of his options, somehow gets the dare. Another dare, goes for the ground pound a little bit too deep in the push-off.
And after all that, both of them not too worse for wear, just pure threats coming out on that left side. Wesley dodging inside of that neutral light, gets a neutral air for the juggle attempt, but couldn't continue it.
This Koji pick definitely looking like the play for Wesley. Even though he's a little bit behind here, this looks like his best chance to take out Fiend, to deny this bracket reset when he's down 0-2.
This for sure looks the best for Wesley so far, but one dare, and he could be out of here. Instead, it's a downlight recovery for game number 3 for the reset for Fiend. He can do it! The lower bracket run after losing in the winner's semifinal.
This is going to be a very tough decision point for Wesley. Does he attempt it again with the Koji, or does he do what everyone wants him to do and pick the Vrax? He's still thinking about this one. This is tough. This is a really tough spot to be in. After Fiend 3-0'd you in the first part of Grand Finals.
See, that's why I would have preferred the Vrax. Like, if you're gonna do the Vrax, I would have preferred the Vrax at the end in game number 3. Because after that, if you lose with the Vrax, it's whatever. It's a reset, complete board wipe. Now, if he goes in with the Vrax, he's putting himself at potential bad points. Because, okay, I guess maybe I'm being a little too harsh on the opportunity to pick Vrax. Like, he's saying it's gonna lose, but like, Vrax is just such an odd pick. I would have loved it at the end of Grand Finals before the reset versus at the start of the reset.
I'm honestly good with it either way, because the Koji was almost successful. All it would take is a little bit more, and that could have been a sustainable gameplay model for Wesley to go further with. He's still thinking about this. He actually is really putting a lot of thought into this, whether he wants to play one of the previous picks or something new that he hasn't really played today so far, because he's going to have to start from the ground floor working on that one. But Fiend, he's just been sticking on this Brawlhalla pick here with Finn.
And what's interesting is this wasn't really played prior to the Grand Finals, right? Like, loser's bracket, basically all Thatch. Winner's bracket, what was he playing? He had the Barasa and the Nash as far as streamed matches go. So it is kind of out of left field a little bit to see him on this this Finn, this Brawlhalla, but it's working. So I cannot criticize it. It's just kind of funny that it was like kept close to the chest before getting to this Grand Finals.
Yeah, Fiend's axe is looking good. His sword is looking good. He's able to get the signature here every now and then to get those orange KOs. Like he got I think it was the side signature axe KO on the Taros on Enigma. And there we see a Lance legend coming out. It's going to be the Macho Man. And Fiend is actually going to swap over to the Bryn.
Is he allowed to do that? Is he allowed to do that? Is he allowed to reaction swap depending on what his opponent picks?
No, he's not. Well,
like that's like
he's able
straight
to,
up counter pick.
But Wes can also swap as well. Like Fiend has to lock in first, he's higher seed. Then Wesley gets to lock in, and if Fiend chooses to swap on that, I think Wesley gets to swap again as well.
This one might actually need a TO to come in, because most of the time people aren't trying to legitimately counterpick. Like they're just like, hey, I'm gonna play this thing. Especially like Fiend coming into this, it would have been expected, hey, this thing that was working, this Brawlhalla, this Finn the Human, that's what he would be sticking with. But the second the Macho Man was locked in, Fiend was like, nope, I'm going to the Bryn, which is straight up a counter pick. So I think this might actually have to go to decision on who has to lock in first.
Apparently lower seed picks first, according to Ice Pingu.
Okay, well,
so
he is the official.
Not saying that I disagree with him, but I think he might be wrong, but I don't think he is. But he might be. There is a doubt in my mind, but he's probably right.
Coming in here with the, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying there's people who say that he might have potentially been wrong, and that part of me feels like there is this potential for that wrongness. But either way, Fiend's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the Finn. Gonna be going in with the Finn for game number 1 in the reset. Final best of 5 here for the Autumn Championship in 1v1s. Fiend versus Wesley. 3, 2, Finn the Human versus the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Ooh, first weapon spawn comes in. Wesley's actually one of the first to attack with an unarmed side air. Still immediately picks up the weapon after that. Fiend not stuck unarmed for any time whatsoever as he grabs the second spawn that comes in. It's going to be his sword. Wesley jumping around a lot here. Maybe he's waiting for another spawn to come in so he can swap over to the Lance. He's putting a lot of space between him and Fiend. There is a spawn coming in. Immediately throws his axe away. Goes over to the Lance. Hits a side air. A turnaround side air from Fiend as well. And a recovery. Dead even so far in this game.
It's starting to be a slight lead in favor of Wesley off the 2-hit. There's the downlight, goes for the dash turnaround nair. Couldn't quite get that follow-up hit. Down sig, risky option from Wesley, putting himself into a lot of active frames in the wrong direction, but still able to find a side air. Could get the stock. First down air will confirm it.
Oh yeah, he's right. Lower C player locks in first. I think that's reverse of what it used to be. But I also could be wrong. I looked up the rules. I'm sorry, Ice Pingu. I should have never denied you.
No, you didn't. Remember, you said you just felt like he could have been wrong potentially. You didn't explicitly
That's
say it.
True. That's the uncertainty principle that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't remember whose uncertainty principle it was.
Well, that's the uncertainty of knowing whose uncertainty principle it is. Side tick from Wesley leads to another knock. Where was this, man? What was all that?
I don't know why
character pick.
I don't know why he was so reluctant to pick a Lance character.
Completely different player here in game number 1 in the grand finals after the reset. Wesley just looking so much more confident with his Fulgrim. Side air. We'll put Wesley off
Still
stage.
gonna have enough to protect. Ooh.
By the way, I don't know if you were trying to say Heisenberg or like who we were like saying was there.
Oh, who we were actually talking about. Who I said was more relevant than Heisenberg.
Either way, Fiend with
was
the
a
unarmed
player.
He just dodged into the side stick. Crazy.
Wesley right on the edge. That ground pound somehow sits to the right, and he follows it up with the side air, throws the chair in the air for the victory pose. Should have done this a long time ago, Wesley.
Now you switch to the Vrax. Fiend
No,
does have he does have the opportunity for the counter pick, of course. Could be going in with the Bryn for game number 2. Wesley, this is what he was known for, right? He's known for having a really strong lance, known for being one of the lance boys of South America. So it was a little bit odd to see him coming in with all this other stuff. And now that he's back to the lance in the grand finals, this is what we were expecting. Wesley versus Fiend. Of course, Fiend gonna make that swap over to the Bryn. Just went and changed up the stats a little bit. Was going from strength stance now into the defense stance for game number 2.
Bit of a slow stage banning coming out. 5 maps still left on the field. Of course, going to ban down to 3. 4 maps left on the field. Small Enigma, Miami Dome, and Demon Island. 3 plats, 2 plats, and no plats coming out from this. Meanwhile, both players have diamond borders. Deck stance from Wesley on the Macho Man, and a defense stance from Fiend on the Brennan. We're going to Demon Island. Get the soft platforms out of here. Give me those tiny walls and a long stage.
Yeah, it's so interesting, the map bans, because there's no like consistent thread across the maps. It's not like, oh, all the triplats were left on the field, or like, oh, it's all small, no platform maps. Instead, there's just a little bit of everything, kind of a sampler platter of maps. Fiend really respecting the range of this lance. Again, utilizing that movement speed of...
Must be a fan of social distancing here, because he is staying very far away from Wesley.
I mean, Bryn left her mask at home, so really got to put that extra distance into this one.
They both left their mask at home, and Wesley's mouth is open the entire time when he plays Macho Man.
He's just breathing in all them mouth germs.
He's straight up a mouth breather for sure.
Nice nair into the neutral signature, could lead to the knockout in just a little bit. Charging up the recovery, but Fiend high enough to avoid it. Just dancing right above Wesley, finds the downlight side air. Wesley has the horizontal movement. What's the knockout tool? The weapon toss, not gonna work out for Fiend.
Oh, back-to-back neutral lights. The third one. Unfortunately for Fiend, it was too far on the right side of the stage. Weapon toss gonna knock out. Almost, I thought that was gonna be it. I'm surprised he had enough to get back. And I'm surprised Fiend couldn't clean that up. Wesley's actually going to turn that around. Get the KO there. That was a 1.5-minute long stock. Kind of uncharacteristically long for both of these players.
Yeah, I think Fiend just missed the fastball on that dare. You saw him go for the dare, was just a little bit too high. Meanwhile, Wesley on the respawn, getting some good damage, but will get caught by the down air, and now that's going to even up the stock count.
Now, despite Fiend being really high in the air, you're not seeing Wesley go really more than 1 jump height up. You're seeing the kind of short charge recovery, not spending a lot of time moving high up into the air. He immediately goes back to the platform, patrolling the ground a lot. Ooh, Fiend. Nice with the D-Light Sair on it. He is in the red, gotta be careful. Wesley extending his attacks off stage. Fiend isn't able to turn into too much, but now he is finishing that up with the gravity cancel neutral signature. The recovery almost hitting. Likely would have been a KO off the top as Wes is in orange. Recovery peeking over that corner.
Just barely. Fiend, though, is in that kill percent. Wesley could be looking for the knockout soon, but Fiend with these weapon tosses keeping Wesley at arm's distance.
Fiend has done a great job evening this up. They're both in knockout damage. The dares, they're going to be weapon tossed down. No, just another nair. Oh, the nair and the chase dodge up. Not quite enough.
Just barely didn't touch that corner. Wesley now has to find the stock, has to find the knockout. Charging up the recovery. Falling Nair is not going to be a knockout tool, just extra damage onto the second stock of Fiend. Wesley really needs to get this. Yep, the side air will do it. Now he has full control of what weapon he's going to go with. juggling to delay the weapon spawn, and now Fiend has to find a way on top of Wesley. Falling there. Get a little bit of extra damage. Fiend going for the same read he did just a moment ago with that jump, gravity cancel, light, and Wesley having none of it.
Fiend with the sidelight. Ooh, went for the gravity cancel D-light. Interesting choice, expecting Wesley to be a little bit higher to where a normal D-light might not connect when the dodge frames were there.
Yeah, just trying to read that like panic jump or panic dodge up from Wesley, but Wesley just not falling for it. Nice neutral light will put Fiend into the red. He's chasing so close.
Ooh, he's burned a lot of in-air movement options. Somehow he gets to the D-light from Fiend. Side air is going to send him off stage, off screen, and into the blast zone. Wesley now up 2-0 in this set. The Lance switch. Such a smart choice from Wesley. It came a little bit late, but not too late.
Well, now it's on Fiend to make that adjustment. Game number 3, final set here for the South American region. Can Fiend do it? Can he find the pick? The Finn was working so well earlier. The Thatch was looking so good earlier. The Bryn looked so close to being right, but just wasn't quite there. Can he do it?
He's going to have to find something. The end of that last game was much closer, so the possibility is there, but I don't know if it's going to take just one more game. I don't know if it's going to take 2 or 3 or 4 more games, but Fiend kind of only has one more game to figure something out. Maybe not necessarily that solution that he can carry through to the end of the next game, but at least something to keep himself alive.
Yeah, this is just pure pressure on top of Fiend now. He cannot afford to lose a set or lose a game from here on out if he wants to go home the champion of the South American region here in Autumn Championship. Otherwise, Wesley going home with that dub, going home with that big prize pool, that $2,000 for being that first place finisher. And you know what? Wesley's icing out a little bit. He's going to get water before he comes back into this one. And Fiend going to be sticking with the Bryn. Wesley, of course, going to be going in with that Macho Man for game number 3 in the grand finals. This is do or die for Fiend, not literal die.
But do or die in the tournament, and that's a very important do or die. Small Enigma, Small Great Hall, and Miami Dome, all soft plat maps here for the choice from Wesley. And it's going to be Miami Dome, those 2 high soft plats on the left side and the right side. No swaps from last game, still the deck stance on the Macho Man, and still the defense stance on the Bryn.
Fiend now has to make the biggest plays of his life here in Autumn Championship. Wesley going in with the unarmed, already getting the damage built up, catches the dodge. Fiend is gone! Yes! It's over.
Honestly, I think it is over. That is a big way to start. I don't know how you throw a lead like that. Fiend has to find a miracle and a half here.
Miracle on Miami Dome. Movie starring Fiend will see out and roll as Wesley goes for another one. Turnaround for Fiend, but it still lands. So much air movement. Wesley's gonna get back.
He's adding up the damage, has Wesley in the orange. But like Wesley almost did it again, the neutral signature. That might be the miracle that he needs. He's still looking for half of one.
Side air puts Fiend in a troublesome spot. You can tell just the damage. It's going to start knocking out soon. Neutral sig, and now Fiend on tournament stock here. Wesley 1 stock away from being crowned the Autumn Champion for South America.
Wesley just patrolling the ground, goes up to that left soft platform. Ooh, jumping a lot, almost like an axe player, maybe looking for that down air as he lands, but he's playing Lance, so you know that air is coming out.
Air whips the recovery, still able to pick up a down air to punish Fiend.
Oh! Oh! What a punish! And the clash comes out. Fiend just barely able to touch the wall. What a way to punish that ground pound.
He's insane. Dodged up inside of an axe ground pound and ground pounded right on top of him. Fiend taunting this one out. Wait, maybe a little bit of internet troubles, and Wesley gonna be respectful.
That's true competitor there from Fiend. Having connection issues, but still wants to play this out at his peak, even though he might see the writing on the wall here. Staring down the barrel of a 3-0.
Might be a bot. With the way that it's just running at Wesley. Yeah, this might be a bot. Fiend might have disconnected here. Pure respect to Wesley, though, for not just going home with this dub. This is $1,000 stock right here. If Wesley gets this, that is money in the pocket, but he is going to give the respect. He's like, I'm going to let my opponent come back so that we can finish this one properly.
I wonder what if he DCs, I don't know if it actually goes to the, okay, Fiend's back in. Looks like that taunt is giving the go-ahead, or maybe not, or maybe so.
Oh! All right, Fiend able to get that stock with the D-Light. Gravity cancel, neutral signature. Maybe that was the miracle he needed on Miami Dome. Last stocks for game number 3. Wesley with the axe in hand, Fiend in the red. Neutral sig connects. It is almost over. Wesley stuck on this right side wall, or Fiend stuck on this right side wall. Comes in, gets up onto the top, avoids the nair, but Fiend cannot afford a big hit.
Wesley spending so much time airborne, floating above Fiend. Some nairs have come out, but no KO option. There's a nair. Has the axe in hand. Oh, the side air just barely missing, and the down signature. Fiend gets above it. Doing such a great job avoiding so many things. Goes to the dare. That had to have been a misinput.
That had to have been an attempt at a gravity cancel D-Light. Fiend cannot afford to get hit here. So many things Wesley would do would knock out Fiend with the weapon toss. Wesley's in trouble. Gravity cancel sidelight. Did Fiend do it? Did he find the miracle? No, the ground pound didn't hit.
Oh, man, I can't believe that did KO.
No, just like that, Wesley finds the hit, the side air, to close it out in grand finals, and that means Wesley is the South American champion for Autumn Championship. Really well played from Fiend. It was so incredibly close, but Wesley with the switch to the Macho Man. Where was the Macho Man in the pre-reset? Where was it?
I don't know. I don't know, because you look at the scoreboard, the first set of grand finals, Fiend got the 3-0. It wasn't even close. Then in the reset, the switch over to the Lance Legend that we've seen him play like all of last tournament, and not even just like one Lance character. We saw him play almost all of the Lance characters in the game just a few weeks ago in Steel Series. We know him as a Lance player, and he seemed reluctant to pull it out. It took the grand final reset for him to bring out that Macho Man that we know and love. There you see the final completed bracket. Wesley and Fiend, the grand final reset going the way of Wesley 3-0.